All right. Hi again there. We're going to look at some geometry, Common Core Geometry, Module 2. Here we're looking at a possible Regents question. So let's say the coordinates of the vertices of triangle ABC with A at 1, 3, B at -2, 2, and C at 0, -2. On the grid below, graph and label triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, the result of the composite transformation of dilation of 2 after a translation of 3, -2, and give the coordinates of A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. All right, so let's just go ahead and start up a sketch. So here we have a Sketchpad opened up, and by default it doesn't have grid paper, but I can fix that. If we look on the top menu, we'll go over to Graph, and we'll say Show Grid. And I can change my grid a little bit by using this slider here if I want to make things bigger or smaller, depending on my need. I think this is pretty good. A couple of different ways. I could go ahead and plot my points of A, 1, 3, B, -2, 2. And one way I could do it, I could have Sketchpad do it for me. I could go onto Graph, and I could plot points. I could just go ahead and put my coordinates in. So 1, 3 for A. We could do that. Plot that point. -2, 2. Plot that point. And 0, -2. I'll say I'm done with that. And let's just go ahead and turn on the point labels. So point A, B, B, and C. All right, it looks like the first thing I want to do is translate 3, -2. Well, an easy way to do that in Sketchpad, and I'll just go ahead and connect these segments so I have them. Oops, sorry. I'll do that. I'll just fix that, do that again. And here. All right, so those are connected. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and maybe draw that vector and then have Sketchpad do it for me. I'll do that in a kind of a space that I know is going to be out of the way, maybe over here. So why don't I just go ahead and do that. So I'll start with a point. I'll just, so I'll just put a point out here. The other way I could have plotted points before too. Actually, let me put both points out here. Is I can just go ahead and select them. So I'm just going to click on each point, select them, and I can go over to Graph and snap points. And if I do that, that makes them kind of jump right onto these coordinates, and I'd have the ability to move them unlike these, which I cannot move. I didn't have moving the whole axis because of the way I put them in. But anyway, for this example, this should be fine. So let's see, we want to go, say this is our starting point. We want to go 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then down 2 with a -2. So we'll go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start with this point, follow it up with this point. I'm going to go over to the transform menu, and I'm going to mark that as a vector because that is the translation that I want to perform first, and I want to perform it on these points. So I'm just going to go ahead and click in white space so I don't have anything selected. I'll go ahead and select my 3 points. I'll go to the transform menu, and I'll go to translate. It automatically, since I had marked that, it knows I want to use my marked vector. So I'm going to go ahead and translate. It goes ahead and puts these out here for me. I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the labels for them so we know what they are. I don't know why I labeled that F, but I can fix it. I'll call it B prime. All right, so that is, it doesn't really care about this triangle. It cares about after the dilation of 2. So why don't I just go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on these prime points. So I have those selected. If I go back to my transform menu, I can go ahead and dilate them. And it kind of gives me a ratio. So right now by default it wants to do a half, 1 over 2. I want the opposite of that. I want 2 over 1. And I'll go ahead and dilate that. And that just made these new points. I'm just going to go ahead and label them. So there's A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime. I'll just go ahead and connect up these segments. And that should go ahead and complete the triangle. So it said wanted me to graph and label it, so we accomplished that. And state the coordinates of A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime. I could really just turn on my label tool if I want to. Maybe just double click out here in white space. So A looks like it's 5, 6, 7, 2. And I could go ahead and repeat the same for these others. I'll just go ahead and double click. And over here by the B, that looks like it's 2, 0. And C, which looks like it's 6, -8. So that was kind of a quick way using the Sketchpad and Sketch tools to go ahead and complete that task. And if I want to make things stand out a little bit more, I could. If I had snapped these on the coordinates, I could actually move these around. But since this seemed to be a question, we just went ahead and did that. So we'll see you again with another one soon. Hopefully you found it helpful.